Well, howdy do, buckaroos. How the heck are you? I am the Beer Whisperer, live, naked, and unafraid. Anyways, so I was having issues with another. I tried to set it up live, and for some reason that link wouldn't work, so I had to delete it out completely and start a new one. So I've decided to have a MILF because I'm a little horny. I see what I did there. Anyways, 11%, 50 IBUs. This is a 2017 MILF. I bought a case, and I've got a few that I'm going to send to some friends. But I haven't had one for a while because it's been crazy unseasonably warm here. But I thought, well, since it has cooled down a tad, I thought I'd drink one. So how about you, Todd? What are you drinking, buddy?
To age and have for next year, or no?
Yeah, I'll probably keep a couple back. I've got a 16 and a 17 ready to send to you.
Okay, cool.
Look how that pours, though. That just pours gorgeous.
One that a friend of my wife picked up when she was in New York with her mom here around Christmas time or so. 20 Brewing out of Westfield, New York. But let me check.
Oh, nice.
York. Brewing American Stout. There's the bottle. Guys, first time I've even actually heard of them.
No, I'm not familiar with them.
Says on the bottle, full-bodied, creamy stout with rich roasted notes and a gentle sweetness. Ingredients: malted barley, oats, and 2 types of hops. It doesn't say which types of hops. 6.5% ABV, and it doesn't list the IBUs. I poured it while he was during the first one, so the head's kind of gone away, but it's a nice dark.
Yeah, it took us. We had it ready to start, and then it wouldn't go, so I had to start all over. but I guess the good news is now it's warmed up for you.
Yeah, right now. So.
Anyway. Oh, this one's nice. I love the nose on this beer. A lot of big chocolate, a lot of roasted barley. Oh, gosh. Oh, wow.
It's getting better every time I open one later on. As
it does, yeah. You know what? I haven't had one in about a month, and even in that time, it's changed quite a bit.
This one's got some nice, as you would expect. This one's stout, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of flavor profile of the Black Butte Porter that I had from Deschutes on our last video.
Oh, really? Okay.
One body-wise is definitely, I'd say medium to full body, but definitely medium. A lot thicker in body for sure than the last one.
Well, good.
Get more chocolate, maybe some. So probably no way dark chocolate is probably more of a milk chocolate. Probably kind of like your Nestle semi-sweet type chocolate.
Well, this is an imperial stout that's aged in 5 different spirit barrels. It's also brewed with cocoa nibs and raisins. And I noticed the cocoa early on. I mean, when I had it when it first came out, but now I'm noticing the raisin more. It's the first thing I noticed when I took a drink here is the fruit notes are more dominant than they were before.
Yeah, I can't wait to try that one for sure.
Yeah, I got you a 16 and a 17. I think what you'll notice from the 16 is, well, what I noticed, the difference between the two is the 17 starts out a little sweeter. The oak notes come out more on the aged version.
Which is kind of, I guess, what you'd expect of sitting after a year.
Yeah, as it kind of ages and It's a little hotter when it first comes out, as you might expect.
Right.
But even I mean, I'm only talking about a month ago, and it already seems to have mellowed out a whole bunch. Wow, that's gorgeous. Whoa, whoa, that just gives me a chubby like you wouldn't believe. Wow, 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 wow. Who doesn't love a MILF, man? Anyway, so you want
Doing what it's supposed to do, then give you the chubby, right?
now that we've lost control of this video, tell us more about what you're drinking.
Yeah, like I said, this is the 5 and 20 from American Stout from up in Westfield, New York. Definitely get some creamy, milky type notes to it. Definitely get the roasted barley flavor too that you'd expect from a stout. Medium, I'd say probably medium body, probably not much more than that. Not thin, but not full. It's an easy drink. Smooth and nice and rich creaminess to it.
So let's talk about breweries in your neck of the woods. You got a bunch, I mean, in nearby Louisville. So of the breweries that you have either in your neck of the woods or in Louisville, which ones really stand out to you?
Of course, here in Indiana, you've got which originates in Indianapolis, but they do have like an off-site tap house on the river, Flat 12, which you're familiar with.
Yeah, I've only had about 3 beers from them, but everything I've had has been just incredibly good.
And then across the river, you've got, of course, you got Against the Grain that does some really good stuff. And then the new one that you've heard John and I talk about that opened up probably 2 months ago, at this point, probably about 2 months ago, called Mile Wide Brewing Company. Doing some outstanding IPAs, style IPA, I guess you could say.
East Coast or New England?
Well, I kind of like that New England style, I guess.
So that hazy, cloudy.
Yes, yeah. But they're great though. They are great. They're catching like wildfire. Every time they come out with a new one, there are people standing in line waiting to get their crowlers when they fill them and put them in the fridge.
Well, that's nice.
So, and then also you got one of the older stands in Louisville, Cumberland. They don't just distribute or anything, but they a restaurant and I don't say tap room, but a little restaurant that they serve basically all their own stuff. At any given point, they have probably four or 5 taps maybe on hand, but they're really kind of overlooked in the area, I think. But always a good go-to. They don't do anything like out of the box, but they do everything standard. Is really good. That's a good. Almost I'd say change of pace, but kind of change of pace from what everybody else is doing these days.
Yeah, it's funny. It seems like every brewery that opens up either has to be trendy or crazy out of the box, and it's almost rare to find a brewery that just does true to style beers.
And then, of course, locally here too, what you've been to, you got New Albanian.
Yeah,
it's probably least favorites around in the area. And now the place is cool to go to. They've got some really good stuff on tap. But
well, I was there in 2013. Do you think they've lost a step since then?
I would say so. Now their Optimus is still pretty good, and most of the other stuff is just, I don't know, I think it's kind of slipped a little bit.
I think that happens to some breweries, is that they're unable to keep up with the current trends and follow what's going on. You think that's what's happening to them?
Oh yeah, I think so for sure. They don't really do anything new. They've had the same type of beer lineup for years and years.
I mean, I've had their Optimus, their Optimus, their Electra Red, their Bonfire of the Valkyries. I mean, everything I've had from them has been fantastic.
Bonfire of the Valkyries and Optimus is still pretty good. The rest of it, is hit and miss. It's
Really,
I'm not gonna say
that's sad.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna say
because
it's
they were great when I had them.
bad, but it's just not something that you seek out and get cravings for, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Well, I was at a beer fest there in 2012, and I ran into I can't remember his name now, but he said he was the brewer out there, the head brewer out there, and he gave me a few beers to take home. And the stuff, I mean, he gave me the Bonfire, the Valkyries, the Optimus, the Optimus, and a couple others. But again, that was that was 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's definitely almost I'd say they've kind of hit a wall a little bit. Not really even care about trying to be great or even good at this point, I'd say. Let's say that it's bad. I shouldn't say it's bad. It's all decent, but anything that I would try to pick up.
I think that happens to some breweries, especially brew pubs, where they start relying more on their food and more on the people that are going to come anyway, and they quit trying to grow.
Yeah. Now their pizza is some of the best in the area, in my opinion. So, and then
Well, we had their pizza. John, our mutual friend John, took us out there in 2013. Again, that's 4 years ago. But at that time, that pizza we had was, I mean, it was, arguably one of the best pizzas I've ever had in my life. It was brilliant.
Yeah, and it still is. It still is. And their beer cheese and breadsticks is phenomenal too. I don't know if you had a chance.
Yeah,
to
we
get
had that too. Yeah, we had that as an appetizer. Then we got a pizza, and I can't remember what all was on that. It seemed like almost everything was on that pizza. And we ordered a great big one that we all shared it, and there was still pizza left over.
I think they have their own beers as kind of a backup. They tap from other breweries across the country.
Yeah, yeah. At that time,
But you don't really go there
they
for
had
their
Zombie
stuff.
Dust on tap. They had Alpha King on tap.
In fact, started yesterday morning. They have a little event for a few days. It's called Gravity Head.
Oh, nice.
And so it's
Excuse me.
everything like 8% and above, I believe, is the lowest ABV beer for Gravity Head.
Oh, I like that.
And it's a cool event, and it packs it in for that. So they just kind of post on social media one after another. Once they blow a tap, they just put something else on tap.
Oh, nice. Now, that would be very nice. Yeah.
Stuff, but it's a lot of stuff that sometimes rarity stuff that you're not going to find a lot of. Some hard to get stuff. But it's a cool event. It doesn't cost you anything. You just go and buy the beers, and it's a cool place. I mean, I still like it. It's just their beers. I don't think their homemade beers are what they used to be.
So,
Everybody else's, it keeps you coming. So,
any final words on that beer you're drinking?
Well, it's rich, creamy. Got some nice chocolate notes. Hints of coffee, but very mild coffee flavor. Definitely get the roasted barley in it. It's nice. I wasn't expecting a whole lot out of it, so it's kind of
so it lives up to the expectation, huh?
And I don't know why. I guess just I don't know what the expectation should have been, but it exceeded what I was expecting.
So any final words about the topics we were discussing tonight? Or this afternoon, I guess.
You got your local breweries, hit them up and support your local stuff, no matter what they're doing, food, beers, whatnot. Buy local.
Yeah, I agree, and they're all good for different things. I mean, we've got mothers that intentionally doesn't do food, and they intentionally don't keep long hours because they want you to come there during the day, but they encourage you to go downtown. They're in the downtown Springfield area. They encourage folks to try their beers at other locations, so they intentionally keep limited hours for that reason. There's a new brewery that just opened up, Lost Signal, that does have long hours and does have food. They have other food, but their specialty is barbecue. I had my wife and I tried the pulled pork, which was absolutely brilliant. But beer wise, they're more on the session strength end of the spectrum. Also downtown is one that's been there since '97 is Springfield Brewery, which for a long time concentrated more on the food end than the beer, but over about the last 3 or 4 years, they've really put more emphasis on the beer. So that's really a nice place to hit for that reason. And then about a mile from there, we've got White River, which also doesn't serve food, but they allow you to bring food in, and then every once in a while they have a food truck nearby. So and then right in my neck of the woods, about a 15-minute walk, 10-minute walk if I was in decent shape, is Show Me Brewing. And Show Me Brewing is basically a home brew shop, but you can also buy beer by the glass in there, and they have typically anywhere between 10 and 12 of their own beers. They have 12 taps. They don't always have them filled, but they usually have at least 10 of them going. So where you can get local brews. And I just talked to somebody when I bought a 6-pack today that says we got a new one opening up, but he didn't have any other information about them. So I think it's great that you have these breweries, but they're not necessarily all competing with each other because they all have a different niche.
And that's kind of the thing I've noticed here around here too, is like they don't they seem to more collaborate and kind of promote one another as than to put one down and say that one's better than the other and try
Yeah,
to
and
pull
that's
you in
nice
for
when you can do
theirs.
that. It's nice when they can all work in conjunction because if one of them succeeds, they all succeed. You know what I mean? You got to they all should be working together to make because if one of them succeeds, it brings business to the other one and then the other one. So, anyways, hey, I am Trying to Beer Whisperer, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all around good guy. If you don't believe me, just ask me. I will tell you. Thanks, Todd.